box, giving you this 4 box of different live looks around Vatican City, as right now, cardinals have gathered to elect the next pope. It's a momentous and historic occasion. Right now, we want to bring into the conversation senior Vatican correspondent at LifeSite, none other than Michael Haynes. Michael, good morning to you. A pleasure having you on the show.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Great to have you. So first question for you, what is a papal conclave? For many people, this is their first time seeing, witnessing, experiencing the historic occasion.
So the conclave is this ancient process, which is built in tradition, whereby the cardinals of the Catholic Church gather together in a closed series of meetings and votes and decide who is going to become the next successor of St. Peter, the next pope, to be the visible leader of the Catholic Church on earth. The new pope who is going to be elected is going to be the 267th pope, or the 266th successor of St. Peter. So this is a process which is really steeped in ancient tradition, going back 2,000 years, but also steeped in liturgy. We just saw the opening mass today. It's a very spiritual process because it's completely unlike a political election, that the cardinals have to decide what is best for the spiritual good of the church. So it's very different to anything like that which we're used to in, say, looking at the election of a normal leader of a political party, for instance.
Yeah, Michael, we know people have gathered from near and far, flocking to Vatican City to take part and witness the history that will be made, giving you and the viewers a live look there in St. Peter's Square. We actually checked in with our content partners out in Philadelphia yesterday, and as you guessed it, there were actually people from Philadelphia who had traveled to take part. I'd love to hear, what is the mood? What is the emotion there in Vatican City? Is it somber, or is it excitement?
I think there's always a mix, because when you have a conclave, it means you've had the death of the previous pope. So we've just completed the 9 days of mourning on Sunday, which we had for Pope Francis. But now there is really a sense of expectancy. As you mentioned, people really have flown in from all around the world, because everybody is very full of anticipation to see who is going to emerge onto that famous balcony on the outside of St. Peter's Basilica and give that famous blessing. There's also a sense, I think, particularly for the cardinals, of a sense of foreboding nature of their duty, because whilst everybody outside can pray for the cardinals and pray for a good pope, it's the cardinals themselves who have to elect the pope. And I think they will probably be feeling less excitement and perhaps more the weight of the responsibility which they have going into the conclave starting this afternoon.
That makes perfect sense. Now, Michael, with your expertise, how would you compare and contrast this conclave that kicks off today to those years past? I've heard many experts highlight the diversity aspect of this conclave.
That's right. So Pope Francis made a slightly different style in choosing his cardinals compared to his predecessors. So he made cardinals from quite far-flung parts of the world, often cardinals who were leading very small dioceses. And so because of that, the College of Cardinals is very, very diverse. They've made up of people who also haven't really had a chance to get to know each other. A number of cardinals have mentioned that because Pope Francis did not hold the normal consistory meetings, which is where the cardinals would gather normally about once a year to discuss with the Pope and to meet each other. But because those meetings haven't happened, the cardinals don't know each other. So for that reason, these previous days have been really, really crucial for the cardinals, because for many of them, it's the first time they've actually met each other. So they need to just get to know each other before they can then begin to decide who is actually going to become the next pope. We've also seen in this conclave that this will have the most number of cardinals in it. This will have 133 cardinals. And so the staff at the Vatican have had to make sure they've extended the normal seats in the Sistine Chapel just to provide a named place for all the cardinals. So because of that reason, I suspect that this conclave could also be ever so slightly longer than the ones we've seen previously, just allowing that extra bit of time for the cardinals to try and decide on who is the right candidate, because, as I said, that they don't have that sense of familiarity with each other.
Michael, thank you so much for that detailed breakdown. And look, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the infamous chimney, sharing it with you and the viewers, getting a live look there. What does this chimney represent? We hear about the colored smoke that'll be coming from it to obviously give the viewers and people in the area kind of like a timeline, letting them know what's happening. We do know these are closed door meetings. These are meetings where people have vowed secrecy, but the color of the smoke pretty much gives people an idea of where they are in the process, correct?
That's absolutely right. So there's no forewarning or anything like that given to the press. There's nothing issued under embargo. But for the cardinals who are sealed inside the Sistine Chapel, they are the only ones who will know the state of the conclave, the state of the voting, whether or not they've elected a new pope or not. And for everybody else, we're going to have to pay attention to that chimney. So the black smoke and the white smoke are the only two colors that will come out of there. The black indicates that they have not elected a pope, and the white indicates that they have. So we're expecting to see the first smoke signal this evening, I think possibly between maybe 7 and 8 p.m. local time. And then we'll see the next signals tomorrow. So the cardinals have 4 votes a day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. And normally what they will do is, if after the first vote in the morning they don't have a new pope, they won't actually issue a black signal then. They'll wait until the second vote of the morning. And then if that's also unsuccessful in electing a pope, they'll issue black smoke. Of course, as soon as they do have the required 2/3 majority, they will issue the white smoke, no matter what number of votes it is in the day. But at that point, everybody's going to be flocking to the Basilica from all around Rome. The journalists who are here, I think, will be camped out probably by the press office. I've heard from people who have been living in Rome for many years that this is the event that everybody drives to as close to St. Peter's Basilica as they can and then parks up their car and runs to the square. Everybody is just so keen to try and be there for that famous moment when the new pope will step out.
Absolutely. Michael Haynes, it's truly been a pleasure to have you join us here on Live Now from Vox to break down the latest and provide that vivid visual of what we can expect. I know you're very busy, as many of your correspondents are, but thank you so much for taking out the time to join us. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much, you too.
Thank you.